In this video, I'm going to do quick reviews of resumes so that you can see what really stands out and what mistakes you might be making on your resume. Now, in case we haven't met yet, my name is Sarah Doody. I am a user experience designer and entrepreneur. And I also help UX professionals learn how to create a portfolio, prepare for this job search, and be ready to ace their interviews. My students have been hired at companies including Salesforce, Harvard, American Express, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Home Depot, and a lot more. Now, just so you know, all of these people have given me permission to review their resumes. So let's jump in. First up, we have Alyssa. I have not looked at these yet, so this is going to be my complete gut reaction. Now, on average, recruiters and hiring managers are spending about 6 seconds looking at your resume. So it's crucial that the information they are looking for stands out on your resume. Now, if you're not sure what they're looking for, go back and watch my other video about the 6 pieces of information that your resume should include. I'll link to it below. Okay, so looking at Alyssa's, it is 1 page long, and my initial gut reaction is there's really good white space. There are key sections indicated by this kind of green color she's using. There's other pieces of information that are bolded, so it's really scannable. It's really easy on my eye. I'm not kind of instantly overwhelmed. So things that I think are working at the top, I think her name, title, and location and contact information, very, very clear. The thing that I would maybe caution her against is having the logo for herself. This could be maybe a little bit over-designed, but also the real underlying concern is that it gives people something that they could latch onto as something that maybe turns them off. So it sounds nuts, but your resume is first impressions matter, right? And if someone looked at this and thought, ugh, I don't like that resume, I don't like that logo, you don't want that to be the thing that turns them off from wanting to see the rest of your work. And it sounds crazy, but that is literally what goes through people's heads. And I'll use the dating analogy a lot, but if you've ever been on dating apps, you know that you're judging people by that kind of cover, by their photos and things like that. So if someone has a photo with like tigers, I don't like that. And I will read the rest of their thing. It sounds crazy, but it's true. And on Alyssa's, the concern would be this icon. It might give someone a reason to think, ugh, I don't like that. Same thing with a photo. I don't think you should put your photo on your resume. They'll see your photo eventually on your LinkedIn, but I would not include it on your resume. So moving on, skills, education. Okay, great. That's standing out at the left. I like the 2 column because it allows the bulk of her resume, the wider column at the right, to be a little bit narrower so that it's easier on our eye to read. If she did not have the left column and all the information was as wide as the page, it makes it harder on the eye. If we were to do eye tracking, we would learn that our eye appreciates a little bit of a narrower column, such as what Alyssa has here. I might even go a little narrower, but I wouldn't change it, Alyssa, it's fine. So she's got a profile. My concern with this, and I'm not going to read all of these resumes, but my concern is this is a lot of text. I'm not going to read that. Could she break it up into 2 kind of smaller paragraphs to make it, again, easier on my eye? Or instead of saying profile, could she say something like user experience architect with 8 years experience or something like that? I have no idea if she has 8 years experience. But instead of just having a title, could she reveal a little bit more about herself based on whatever is in here? So think about that. But what we're mainly interested in is the experience, and the experience is easy to identify. It's right down here. So I'm not kind of wondering where is her work history. I can easily see it. What's working here? She has laid this out in a way that it's very skimmable and scannable. So each job title is bolded. Each company is, oh, I see. The company, actually, it's hard to see which company she has worked at because this says freelance, this says CMD agency, graphic products. If I were her, I might bump the company, so freelance, CMD agency, etc., down to the next line because she's got a lot of information here. She's got her job title, the company, the city, and the dates. Instead, I would challenge her to put the job title and date on one line and the company and city on another line, because this is key information, these 4 data points, but being all kind of merged together on one line, it's hard to read. And I would recommend that she put her dates to right align them. It would make it a lot easier to read. So some things to think about on these, what she did, I might bullet point these out. And I would also recommend Alyssa goes back to my other video, 6 key pieces of information for your resume, because it teaches you how to really write effective statements for, what you did concerning the outcomes, benefits, result of your work. Because just saying build proprietary interfaces using .NET MVCC plus, I think, that doesn't tell me much. I don't know. And she says graphic products, but I don't know what graphic products is as a company. So Alyssa, go back and watch that video. Okay, but other than that, great white space, easy to read, minor tweaks to the design by changing this so it's on 2 lines, and go a little bit more in depth on your bullet points. Also, don't be worried if this becomes 2 pages. It is not the end of the world. I don't know who made the rule that your resume must be 1 page, but I personally don't buy into it, and I have never had a recruiter or hiring manager tell me otherwise. Next, Rakesh. Okay, so at first glance, hold on, I want to see if Rakesh's is 1 or 2 lines. Pages. Okay, it's 1 page. Okay, so taking it all in, my initial reaction is, okay, it seems like maybe Rakesh wanted to put this all on 1 page, and therefore there's a lot of information put on here. Now, in terms of kind of hierarchy of information, so I like that we have these blue titles to identify key sections of experience, what I've been doing, what else I've done. I guess those are projects he's worked on that maybe were not related to a specific role, I'm guessing. What I've learned and what I can do. Okay, so my initial reaction would be I would make this 2 pages because right now there's not enough white space. It looks overwhelming. And if it looks overwhelming to my eye, I'm probably not going to spend as much time with it. So now, great, we've got the top section. I like that Rakesh put number of years experience right up there. I think that's very smart. What I've been doing. Okay. Now, thinking about what I just said about Alyssa's in the last one, we were looking for the title and the company and the date of employment to all be really easy to pick out. So I see title, UX engineer, company, Intelligagia, I don't know, client, Cisco. Okay, so looks like role and title or company is always blue. Okay, the tricky thing with blue is that people might think it's clickable and you've got blue as your big titles. I might do, instead of making these Cisco, Accenture, etc. blue, maybe make them like italic or something. I think the use of blue is a little bit confusing here, but look, the difference between Rakesh's and Alyssa's, if we go back, Alyssa's, the dates were hard to pluck out, but looking at Rakesh's, the dates are easy because they're right justified by themselves, easy to see. Now, challenge with Rakesh, as I said with Alyssa, having everything as 1 column makes it hard to read. So look at this. This spanning all the width, that just looks overwhelming, especially if it's these bullet points, which if they wrapped, they could be, still 2 lines long. Also, with your bullet points, one thing to do is put some space between them. I can't do that because this is a PDF. But if you put some space like between, let me just kind of try and show you where, right there between the bottom of the first bullet and the top of the second bullet, put some space, give it some breathing room. Because right now it just looks like, oh my gosh, a big glob of text. If you space them out, it would be so much easier on my eye. Also, I don't know what this company was. I mean, Cisco, I've heard the name, but I don't know what that IntelliGagia, whatever that is. Accenture Services. Okay, so this is where I would say, Rakesh, give me a 1 or 2 sentence summary of the company or the unit that you were in. Other projects, instead of saying what else would I've done, like were these personal projects, side projects? I'm not sure. So think about that. I wouldn't say and some more because it makes me think there's a second page that I'm missing. Other than that, I think this is good, but let me know if you have questions, but I think you should be able to make a ton of changes from this review. Okay, moving into the next one, because I think I'll only have time to do 3. L. Okay, I've never seen L's before, and I just also want to see if L's is 1 or 2 pages, just so we know what we're looking at. Okay, L's is on 1 page. My initial reaction is this. There is white space, but it's really hard to read. The fonts are quite small. Let's dive into it a little bit though. So we've got this left column. It just feels a little misaligned. Something about it is just not sitting well with me. I would consider like, what's the purpose of this left column? But let's dive into the content. Okay. L is a UX designer and Renaissance woman, and we've got our contact information, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So good. We see her name, title, and website all in this. To me, it looks like too, like there's a lot of font sizes going on. Your name is 1 font size. This is 1 font size. This is a slightly different font size. So I would look at just consistency here. Okay. You might consider doing what Rakesh did and add your years of experience. I really like that in his. So skills and methods. Okay. I like that it's really easy to read, but one recommendation here would be this. I think you could benefit from like a 2-column layout. That way you could put your skills and methods over at the left. And the benefit to doing that, if you had a column like this, then this information can maybe only take up a column this wide, and it's going to be a little bit easier on my eyes. So that's tip number 1. Because if we go back to Rakesh's, see, wide column, hard to read. This stuff, easier because it's not as wide. If you think of like the width of the Facebook newsfeed, the width of the Twitter profile, maybe resumes worked this way, being full width like a while ago, but our eyes are being trained to read these narrower columns. So think about that. Alyssa, similar, nice, narrower column, but L. Okay, so if you did that, great. Now we get into your experience. Okay, so now everyone knows we're looking for job title, UX designer, user experience design immersive, title, got it. Okay, what's missing, what's getting lost is the dates and the company and the location, because you've got it down here. If you moved it over to the right, it would be a lot easier. But let's see. Sometimes you're using bullet points and sometimes you're not. I think stick with bullet points or don't stick with bullet points. Have it really consistent. Now, you did the experience design immersive. Okay, great. So you're including that in your experience because you did projects in it and you don't want it to get buried in your education. Makes sense. Again, I don't have time to read all these bullet points. Let's see. Looks like these are different projects. Can you make each project stand out a little bit more? It looks like they're all treated with the same font formatting. But if each of these is representing a project you did in that course, somehow make them stand out a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going into your, again, see, like these wide columns are hard to read. You could benefit from having spacing between the bottom of this one like this and this to give it more white space, and be consistent, bullets or no bullets. Education, okay, great. I think too, this might end up being 2 pages, and you might consider including kind of an about me, or what I call a compass statement, similar to what Alyssa did. But don't stress about that. I would make all the other changes first. Okay, guys, that's all the time I have in this video, but I hope these changes and suggestions were really helpful. Now, do me a favor, and in the video below, tell me one change, probably more, that you've realized you should make to your resume right now so that it is more readable, more scannable for those recruiters and hiring managers who are spending 6 seconds or less on your resume. Okay. And if you like this, make sure you like it or share it with people or subscribe, because I am pumping out new content all the time. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon.